Greetings, beautiful boxing fans. So, let me tell you guys what just happened with Dmitry Bivol. The WBO, the sanctioning body, just ordered Dmitry Bivol to provide a proof for his injury. Now, let's backtrack to last week. Last week, after weeks of anticipation of what is next and when will the trilogy be announced between Bivol and Beterbiev came out and some might say exposed Bivol. He was like, hey Bivol, what's going on? I gave you a rematch. I've been waiting for the trilogy, but we haven't heard from you. We got an offer to fight in Saudi Arabia for Riyadh season. Nothing from you. We got an offer to fight in Russia. You accepted, you did everything, you confirmed with us, but then you simply disappeared. So what is going on, Dmitry Bivol? That is what Artur Beterbiev came out and said. And what do you know, ladies and gentlemen? Few days after, less than 72 hours after Beterbiev called out Bivol, Bivol posted a picture of him in the hospital announcing that he was undergoing back surgery and he's going to take some time off to recover. Now, in my opinion, first off, let me say this. Dmitry Bivol and Artur Beterbiev are the two greatest light heavyweights of our generation. No question. Much respect to both men. But, I gotta be honest here. Ladies and gentlemen, there is a reason why the WBO ordered Dmitry Bivol to provide proof of injury. And let me tell you why. Let me tell you why, ladies and gentlemen. You know, if you actually think about it, let's actually break down the entire timeline and it will all make sense, I promise you. So first off, both men fought in last October. Riyadh season card, Riyadh season event, they were the two headliners. It was an unbelievable fight, legendary fight. A very much, you can simply say it was the most talked about and the most anticipated fight when it comes to the light heavyweight division in our era, for every single belt in boxing. And what happened, ladies and gentlemen? When both men signed the contract for that first fight, there was no rematch clause for either man. But the fight took place and Artur Beterbiev won the fight. Now, Turki Al-Sheikh came out and said, listen, I would love to do it again. Dmitry Bivol came out and said, he was like, I would love to get another opportunity. And what did the great Artur Beterbiev say? He was like, okay, there's no rematch clause, but I have no problem. The fans want the rematch. Bivol wants the rematch. Who am I not to give you guys what you guys want? Rematch is on. And not just that, when Beterbiev fought Bivol in that first fight, he fought him just 4 months after his knee surgery. Think about that, guys, at 40 years old and 4 months out from a knee surgery, which most people never come back from. The man came back and fought Bivol and took Bivol's undefeated record and took every single belt in boxing back home. But then, what happened then, ladies and gentlemen? They did the rematch. It was a very close fight. In my opinion, I had Beterbiev winning the fight because I watched the fight on mute in the airport. But when I got back home and watched the fight with the commentary on, I was absolutely disgusted. Why? Dmitry Bivol is a matchroom fighter. The commentators work for Matchroom. Darren Barker was a Matchroom fighter and now he is a Matchroom commentator. So they were extremely biased, but both fights were close, both fights were competitive. Okay, you want to give the second one to Bivol? No problem. But if you actually watch the fight on mute, Beterbiev was, he was sending Bivol flying from every single corner in the squared circle. The man was flying across the ring with every power shot that Beterbiev was landing. In my opinion, Beterbiev won that fight, but no problem. After Bivol got the decision, Beterbiev wasn't upset, he was respectful, he was humble, congratulated Bivol, no excuses. He was like, actually, I loved this fight even more than the first one. Why? Because there was more action. And what did Turkey come out and say? He was like, I want to do the trilogy. The fans want to see the trilogy. Everyone agreed. They asked Bivol. Bivol said he wasn't too committed. He was like, you know what? If it makes sense, if everyone wants it, we'll talk, we'll go back to the drawing board, this and that. But he insinuated that he was willing. But when was that, ladies and gentlemen? That was back in February. March, April, May, June, July, August. That was 6 months ago. And now over 6 months ago. Nonetheless, Turkey, before he sent both of them contracts for the trilogy, they got an offer from Russia to host the trilogy with crazy money, like Beterbiev said, money that couldn't be refused. Both men, initially they agreed. So what did Team Bivol and Team Beterbiev say? They told Turkey al-Sheikh that they were not going to fight in Saudi Arabia because they got this offer in Russia. And Turkey was like, okay, God bless. You guys do whatever you guys want. I mean, go get paid. But then, suddenly, the WBC came out and mandated David Benavidez to fight Dmitry Bivol. And Dmitry Bivol kept stalling and stalling and stalling, and eventually, instead of fighting his mandatory David, he vacated the WBC belt. So Bivol was left with the WBO, IBF, WBA, and Ring Magazine. But after vacating the belt to David Benavidez, we were like, okay, he's not going to fight David. Surely, any second now, any day now, the fight is going to get announced between him and Artur Beterbiev, the trilogy. That was, ladies and gentlemen, over 2 months ago. 3 months ago. But week after week after week, the man refused to fight David, gave David the belt, and the man kept on posting videos of him training all around the world, and the man looked fully healthy. But all of a sudden, after Artur Beterbiev came out and absolutely ripped Dmitry Bivol just came out and said, hey guys, I've been having some nagging injuries, I'm going to have a back surgery, I'll be back soon. And now Artur Beterbiev is having a fight on November 22nd, but not against Bivol. But this is the truth, ladies and gentlemen. Let me tell you what actually happened. You know, I don't think it takes a rocket scientist to figure out what happened, ladies and gentlemen. It is very simple. Artur Beterbiev is aging by the day. The man is 41 years old. The man, his biggest enemy is, the biggest enemy is time when it comes to Artur Beterbiev. The man's body is falling apart right in front of our eyes, and the man is in his 40s. So what did Dmitry Bivol do? He was like, okay, I'm not going to fight this young killer in Benavidez, take the belt. I'm not going to fight Beterbiev now. Let me give him extra year after the second fight to age him out, so that if I fight him in the trilogy, I will simply beat him. Easier. And what do you know? Now, Beterbiev is fighting at the end of November, so if both men will have a trilogy, it will not be before February or April. So what does that mean, ladies and gentlemen? That means that it's going to be over a year since their second fight, if they actually participate in the trilogy. You know? So in all actuality, was Dmitry, and that is why the WBO, they're like, this is interesting. Give us the proof of what exactly your injury is and what exactly the surgery was. Why? Let me tell you why, ladies and gentlemen, because even the WBO know what's up. Dmitry Bivol has been posting videos of him training non-stop, like 2 weeks after the second Beterbiev fight. But not until Beterbiev called him out for him stalling, he just posted a video, posted a picture of him in the hospital. Now, was he injured? Of course, the man wasn't 100% healthy and he just had a surgery. Of course not. But just like all the boxers, just like 100% of the boxers around the world, they're all facing something. They all have nagging injuries. But Bivol because he vacated his WBC and because he doesn't have a mandatory to fight now, the man simply was like, okay, let me go heal all these minor injuries and take my time and age out better BF and have an easier time with him. If the trilogy happens, because better BF will have more miles on the clock. The man is fighting a puncher now from Alabama. And now Turki Al-Sheikh just came out and said that he want to make better BF versus Benavidez at the beginning of 2026. So did Bivol duck Artur Beterbiev for the trilogy? Yes. No question, ladies and gentlemen. I don't think there's any debate anymore, and that is why the WBO are demanding proof of injury. You don't see that too often. But you don't see what Dmitry Bivol is doing right now too often. And that is the truth about the situation between Artur Beterbiev and Dmitry Bivol.